Tonight, Maria's direct hit devastating Puerto Rico. The first Category 4 storm to strike Puerto Rico in 85 years, slamming ashore around sunrise. Roofs peeled from buildings, debris flying. Many of these homes not built to withstand any hurricane, let alone a Category 4. We are outside of San Juan in the town of Guaynabo. It was hit very hard. A lot of destruction to homes, down trees and power lines as well. And now they're dealing with this, flooding in every direction. Up to 30 inches of rain in some areas, engulfing whole neighborhoods. 12,000 people heeding the call to get to shelters, including our hotel's ballroom. Terrified residents singing about strength during trying times to ease the fear. For Nightline, I'm Victor Oquendo, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Our thanks to Victor, and we turn now to another developing story tonight. That powerful earthquake in Mexico, more than 200 people confirmed dead, many others missing after dozens of buildings collapsed. Now rescue teams working around the clock to clear the rubble and free people trapped inside. ABC's Matt Gutman is in Mexico City tonight as people scramble to find survivors.
Here, under tons of brick and concrete, a race against time to save the life of a girl trapped inside the Enrique Rebsamen Elementary School. The entire wing of the school collapsing after that devastating 7.1 magnitude earthquake which struck Mexico on Tuesday.
It was a 3-story building and it pancaked into a 1-story building. They think they hear something and they're trying to listen to see if they can hear a survivor in the rubble.
Officials tell ABC News they believe there are at least 2 others trapped with her. At least 21 children and 4 teachers were killed. But at least 11 people from that school have been rescued. Like these children. They were terrified, dusty, but alive. Miraculously saved after being buried under the rubble. Workers are now racing to save that little girl and whomever else may be trapped inside with her.
They don't know exactly where she is inside the building. They're bucket brigades, people removing brick by brick, cinder block by cinder block from that collapsed school. Looks like they're going to send the dog in that tiny crevice between what was, I guess, the 2nd and 3rd story. Now they're lifting the dog to the roof, again, hoping to catch a scent of whomever might be inside still.
13-year-old Rodrigo was one of the lucky ones crawling out of his collapsed school. The others who were rescued were listed on these handwritten slips of paper with their names and the hospital where they could be found. That 7.1 quake striking central Mexico on Tuesday, shortly after 1 p.m. local time.
I'm in Mexico City Airport. The whole building started shaking.
The shaking lasted for several agonizing minutes.
It got even more intense and really started shaking. People started trying to grab the tables and the walls.
Jesus Nangaray lives with his wife and baby girl right next to that elementary school.
Were you here during the earthquake?
Yeah, it was really scary. Just grabbed my baby, and that's when I actually saw through the window how the school collapsed, and I thought, we are next. Everything was moving so bad, and I couldn't actually walk.
Because the ground was shaking so much you couldn't walk.
So much, exactly. Yeah. And when I heard the thunder of the school going down, I just looked out the window, and it was like this big, huge smoke of dirt.
Right, the dust.
And we started hearing the screams really loud coming from the school.
We just lost the building. Mexico City.
The quake so far claiming the lives of more than 200 people in Mexico and causing extensive damage to Mexico City, 100 miles from the epicenter.
Everyone ran outside of our office and crowded into the streets. Lots of people crying and hugging, calling friends and family.
It was powerful enough to level at least 44 buildings, including homes, schools, and offices.
Things in your house are falling over and are shattering.
Inside this newsroom, the walls shaking. Throughout central Mexico, those choking clouds of dust, people panicking and praying.
You still don't know if there's aftershock. You don't know if there's going to be another power line coming down. There's debris still falling from buildings.
Windows slipping down buildings like sheets of ice, debris crushing vehicles.
Oh my gosh!
The water at this park splashing as if in a giant bathtub. Rescue workers scrambling to find the missing, and overnight they clawed at the wreckage, some with bare hands. Mexico is no stranger to earthquakes.
Mexico City was built in an old lake bed, and so it has this layer of very soft soils. The soils there amplify shaking by a factor of 100 or more. By comparison, the worst we get in LA is about a factor of 5.
The U.S. is gearing up to help. This disaster assistance response team from Los Angeles deploying to Mexico to help with the search and rescue. And stunningly, the quake struck just hours after the country had conducted earthquake safety drills. Drills that were put into place after Mexico's deadliest earthquake in 1985, which killed thousands. That was 32 years ago to the day. Tuesday's earthquake is the second to strike Mexico in just the past 2 weeks. On September 7th, close to midnight, a massive 8.1 magnitude earthquake hit off the country's southern coast. Houses were toppled. The quake produced tsunami waves that sent people running into the streets in panic. That earthquake claimed the lives of at least 90 people.
In general, whenever you feel earthquakes, you've got to expect to feel more. And about 5% of the time, the triggered earthquake ends up being bigger than the first one.
Back here in Mexico City, in the midst of so much loss, there are so many signs of generosity. Jesus Nungaray remembers rushing to that collapsed elementary school, moving rubble with his bare hands Tuesday night, just him and other neighbors.
And so while you were there trying to pull away the rocks, you still heard people inside the rubble screaming?
At the beginning, yes. Yes.
And then did the screaming die down?
Yeah. Yeah, it started to die down, and I stayed there until we pulled out a kid, and I saw it, and they put his own
his
sweater on his face, and they pulled him out on a
stretcher. Was he alive?
No.
Hope is not yet lost for the others still missing. The calls for dogs and doctors intensifying as the rescues continue.
We've been granted permission to get as close as you can get to the school, and you can see where they're trying to peek through the cracks.
The eerie sound of silence, despite that massive crowd.
You see those hands up in the air, they've just called for silence. That means that they're trying to listen to see if they can actually hear the person they're looking for inside still. And it's incredible. There are probably 1,000 people around here, but it's eerily quiet when they raise their hands.
It is agonizing work, but after nearly 24 straight hours of desperate effort, rescuers finally make contact with the little girl. They have reportedly given her water and oxygen, but now they have to find a way to reach her and the others. Still in a day and in a country that has been filled with grief, a glimmer of hope tonight. For Nightline, I'm Matt Gutman in Mexico City.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.